What's up, everybody? Welcome me into another episode of the brand new Bolt Fan Podcast. It's your boy Josh, and I am here by myself one more time doing a draft episode. This will be my final mock draft. I'm actually recording this about 8:40 on the 22nd, the night before the draft. So this will be my final mock draft. We'll see if we can do one or two, however many we can get through in the time allotted here. But I'm super excited for the draft. We've gone over a lot of options that the Chargers have, and so we're gonna make this really simple. I'm doing one more tonight, and it'll post the day of the draft. Sorry, I forgot to turn my phone off there. My ESPN alerts are going crazy. Hopefully, with the Chargers already making moves, but it's not that. So it's that was the Colorado Rockies scoring another run on my Padres. But good news. Really quick on that, on the draft aspect. For those who haven't heard yet, tonight we are tune in. Make sure you don't miss it. We are doing our live draft spectacular, and we are live streaming the entire first round of the draft. Trevor will be back. My dad will be back on, and we might have a few other guests. We're still working today to see if we can get a few other people on. But with that being said, check it out. It will be tonight at 5 o'clock during the draft. That's 5 o'clock Arizona time. I don't know, y'all did the math on where you live. The draft's at 8 o'clock Eastern. So make sure you tune in to our live stream on YouTube, and it will be a great time. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a really good time. I've already prepared a whole big board, and it's ready to rock and roll. So super fun time. I'm very excited. Y'all should be excited. Let's get rocking and rolling here with a draft, one final mock draft. So let's share it right here. Boom. I think we are good to go. Yeah, we are good to go. Sweet. All right. So I got it set up. We're doing a full 7-rounder. We may make trades here. We may not. Let's see how the board falls. And this is literally going to be like a draft. If the board falls in a way that a trade is valuable, we'll make the trade. If it doesn't, then we won't. So let's see what's going on here. And Caleb Downs fell all the way to pick 12. Monroe Freeling at 16. That's interesting. Mansour Delane fell all the way to 18. There's no way that happens. All right. So we'll hide this first. So first and foremost, Vega Ione is obviously the one I'm looking at most. I will be honest with you. I'll talk about it more tomorrow night during the live stream. But Spencer Fano, let's see where he went number 13 to the Rams. So I'm looking at Vega Ione and Spencer Fano to play guard. So those are my top two. If either one's available, don't trade. Just go make the pick. But with this, let's see what trades were offered here, because Kenyon Sadiq is on the board at 22. So someone might want to come up and get him. Looks like Baltimore's offering a lot. They're offering a second rounder, a third rounder, and then a second and a third next year for our first rounder and pick 204, which I think is our sixth. So that's an interesting one we could run. That's a good one there. With the trade with the Patriots, just move back to 31 and we pick up their second rounder. You know what? Let's have a little bit of fun. Let's just trade out of the first round here. Let's do this Baltimore trade and get a ton of value. We'll have a little fun in the second, third round here. And we're giving up our sixth. So it's going to be a heavy early first, second, third, and fourth round draft. And we'll see how it goes. So I should have looked here. I think they came up to get Sadiq, right? No, they traded up to get KC Concepcion. That's interesting. Okay. And then Basantis is off the board. So now we're down a couple of guards. So this is a big deal. We need to get one of these guards at pick 45. And it looks like we'll still have some available. So I'm immediately looking guard here right away. Yeah, let's go ahead and reject both of those. Guard. All right. So we got two guys here that I really like. Three of them I really like, but two that I would take here at 45. Emmanuel Pregnon, really good player, big, more of a gap scheme guy than a stretch wide zone guy. So I'm leaning towards. So I've already ranked these players. I'll have all this in front of me on draft night. I actually have Keelan Rutledge ranked as my second guard behind Vega Ione, or third guard. So I have him behind Basantis and Ione, but I have him ahead of Pregnon. So I'm going to trust my gut, trust my research here, and I'm going to go Keelan Rutledge with pick number 45. So we traded back with Baltimore. We got pick 45. We're still picking again right here in pick 55. So we'll see who's still available. Oh, this is interesting. We can move back one spot with Green Bay and pick up another 6th-round pick. So let's go ahead and do that. I like I like the move there. Sweet. Ooh, all right. Interesting name on the board here. So let's see what's going on here. So we got another trade offer from Jacksonville. They're offering us pick 81 for pick 56. And I don't like that. And then Buffalo is offering us their 3rd, their 4th for our 2nd, our 4th, and they're offering a pick next year. Maybe not a bad value, but I'm not doing next year's draft right now, so I don't want to mess with that. So we're going to go ahead and reject both of those. We're going to go ahead and make a pick here. So this is interesting to me. One of my favorite receivers in the draft is on the board right here, Chris Brazzell. We haven't talked about him much because a lot of times he's not available here, but let's go ahead and talk about him for a sec. So traits. All right, here, let's go testing and comp first. Make sure y'all can still see all this. Yep, perfect. So 6'4", 198. Small hands, not great arm length, but he is 6'4". And here's the thing I love. 6'4", 198, and he runs a 4.37. So super fast, super athletic player here. And if you look up here, his overview, where does it show his raw score? I saw it somewhere. That's all right. His raw athletic score is here you go, prospect grade 83. So good player, instincts. They got him as a blue chip player on his instincts, positioning, timing, catch point, body control, all that stuff, which is massive. That helps with contested catches. That's a big deal. Route running, all that good stuff. Elite agility, elite twitch, elite explosiveness, elite long speed, elite size, elite hands, or above average hands, above average route running. And then the only thing where he grades low is physicality and blocking. Now, that's a big deal, but I can live with that. So I'm actually going to go ahead and take a wide receiver here. The Chargers have been on Alec Pierce. They've been on Mike Evans. And I'm jumping on Chris Brazzell from Tennessee. So I feel good about that. That's a good pick. Good player there. Really, really like this guy. Let's see where it goes from here. We're still moving. So let's show our picks here. We got Keelan Rutledge at 45, Chris Brazzell at 56. So we got our guard, we got a wide receiver. So I probably want to go defense here. Let's see. I'm not really interested in those trades, so we'll just back out of there. Let's get back to the board. All right. So a couple options here. So keep in mind here, because of the trade we made, we're picking at pick 80, but then we also get to pick again at pick 86 right here. So love that. And I'll be honest with you, so there's a tight end I really like in Eli Stowers, but I'm not a huge fan of R. Mason Thomas. But the reason I'm not a huge fan is because of where he's projected to get drafted. There's a lot of people saying he's going in the late 1st, early 2nd. I would not take him there. However, in this spot in the mid 3rd round, completely different. So let's take a look at him. Traits: elite blue chip bend and agility and motor. Okay, so I love that. Explosiveness as well. So all the things of like all the testing, he's a beast. So I'll look at it real quick. 6'2", 241, so a little bit undersized for an edge rusher. A little bit short arms, 31 and 5/8, so that's not great. But he did run a 4.67, so that tells you, at that size, that's pretty solid. So you're looking at a pretty elite athlete here who doesn't have a lot of great pass rushing moves. Everything's kind of just solid. You get down to the bottom here. The weak area is size, which makes perfect sense. So he's going to need to add some weight, add some power, which I think being a 3rd string guy for us could really allow that for him. He would have a year to kind of develop those things and kind of be a situational designated pass rusher as our edge 3. So in this situation, I really like R. Mason Thomas as our 3rd round pick. Play strength is another area below average. So he's just got to get bigger and stronger. So I think an off season, and a year with Ben Herbert, and he'll be maybe a really good player and maybe a steal. But it's going to take some time. I don't see him popping year one, but could have an impact as a third edge rusher, designated pass rusher type of guy. So we're going to take R. Mason Thomas at pick 80 with our first of our third round picks. So now we're back on the board here, and exactly what I was hoping would happen has happened. Oh, this is an interesting board here. Interesting trade here from the Lions, offering us a 4th, a 5th, and 2 future picks for this pick right here. Let's see, what picks do we have left? I'm going to go ahead. I like these guys too much. I'm not going to make that trade. Even though it is interesting, I'd consider it. But there's 2 guys here that I love. So number 1, Eli Stowers, tight end out of Vanderbilt, is my number 2 tight end on the board. So I love this guy. He's only behind Kenyon Sadiq. I would not take, outside of Sadiq, I wouldn't take a tight end before the 3rd round. But 3rd round, Eli Stowers, good value. I like this player a lot. And I talked about it on every draft episode because I am higher on him than everybody else. Parker Brailsford. But I'm going to sit and I'm going to hope he's available. Guys, sorry, I thought I turned that off. Parker Brailsford, I'm interested in. I like him more than everybody else. Bryce Lance is a good pick if we didn't already get Chris Brazzell. Max Clare's another really good tight end. Malik Muhammad's an interesting corner, but I'm going to go up here and go Eli Stowers, tight end out of Vanderbilt. So with that trade, we've got Keelan Rutledge, we got our guard. We got Chris Brazzell as an X receiver. We got R. Mason Thomas as a developmental edge rusher. And then we got Eli Stowers, who would be our 3rd tight end with Aronde Gadsden and the other guy who I cannot come up with his name all of a sudden. And I don't have Trevor here to help me. Oh, Charlie Kohler. So we got our tight ends are set. I love that. Our left guard is set. Love that. Good, another wide receiver to throw in the mix there. Competitors welcome. That's a very competitive room, and I love that. So all that's a really good situation there. And I'm a big fan of what we got going on here. So let's see here. We got next one. All right, we're in the 4th round here. We didn't get any trade offers, and that's fine. So we haven't gone defensive tackle. So let's look at Renee Conga because that's an interesting. We do need a tackle here. At some point, I would like to go defensive tackle, but I don't think this one's going to be it, though. 298, a little bit undersized, but he did run a 4.79. So decent measurables here. Let's check the traits and see. I actually don't have a lot of research on this player. So explosive player, motor, power is all blue chip. I like that. So there's got to be something wrong. Play strength is elite. Agility is elite. What am I missing here? Size. Here we go. So below average balance and leverage, and below average hand use and pass rush execution. Yeah, I don't need that. I'm gonna move on from that. I'm actually really interested. I didn't think I was gonna go this route. I do like Trey Pipkins as our backup tackle, but let's talk about Isaiah World for a second. From San Diego, California. I've really got to silence this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to go ahead and do this really fast because I keep thinking I did it. There we go. All right. He's from San Diego, so that's awesome. Bringing him back home. 6'5" and 323 pounds, so massive human being. The last name World is hilarious. I love that. So a lot of branding here to do. And here's the thing. Physicality, 9.59 out of 10. Mobility is interesting. A blue chip, 9.05. Power's a blue chip. Size, blue chip. So we love that. This guy's meeting every measurable I could ask for. Core and grip strength, elite. Awareness, above average. A lot of good stuff here. Balance and leverage is where he got whooped. I remember the Texas Tech game I watched because I was watching David Bailey. And David Bailey made him look really, really bad. So Isaiah World has all the measurables, but needs to develop. I don't know if he ever becomes a starter for the Chargers because we have Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater. But this is a developmental player in the 4th round who has all the potential, and I think it's worth a flyer. So I'm going to go ahead and go Isaiah World with pick number, where are we at? 123. I love that selection for us. Great developmental player. And yeah, Harbaugh could really do some good things with him and really turn him into a great player. I don't know that he will, but he could. So I'm drafting on potential on that one. All right, so we don't pick again in the 5th, so we're gonna let it run through here. Couple players I like there. I mean, Conga's still on the board. I thought about taking him in the 4th. It looks like he's still on the board in the 5th. Deion Burks, I love Deion Burks. I would love to see Deion Burks fall. Kind of a return man from Oklahoma, so I really like him. Jake Slaughter out of Florida would be amazing to see fall. I love Jake Slaughter, which he's still on the board. Come on. Nope, he's gone. All right, so yeah, he's not usually falling to the 6th, so that's and again, at this point, 5th, 6th, 7th round, which we don't have a 5th or a 7th right now unless we make trades. You're drafting based on potential, and there's got to be a trait that you like. You're not getting a fully developed player in the 5th or 7th round or 6th round here. So let's see. We're coming up here. So the players available. I'm not going to lie to you. I love Carson Beck. We don't need a backup quarterback, but Carson Beck is just a guy. I like him. So I'm not going to spend too much time here, but I would consider Carson Beck. This is one I have done some homework on. I do like him a lot. Andre Fuller. Let's talk about it. Testing. 6'1", 200. So good size here. Not great arm length, 30 3/4. That's a problem there. Arm length, 4.49. So good enough speed, nothing to, write home about, but it's nothing, not a problem. Broad jump, 10.9. So he's a good athlete. I think there's just a lot of he's solid. Nothing stands out as being elite. But the blue chip, trait here is explosiveness. So you've got a trait that you like. I don't think he's as explosive based on those numbers as they're telling me here. So I probably wouldn't grade that blue chip, but that's all right. But hip fluidity, elite. Agility, twitch, elite. Long speed, above average. A lot of good stuff here. Physicality, above average. Likes to stick his nose in and tackle. Let's look at the negatives. Oh, that's right. That's what I remember seeing here. There's just nothing negative. Everything is at least average. Size, average. Run support, average. Ball skills, average. Processing, average. So it's like he's just a solid player all the way around with one or two elite things that I think could be developed. And here's the other thing. Joe Ortiz has done really, really good drafting corners late. So I'm going to go ahead and go and Andre Fuller out of Toledo, which is kind of quickly becoming a DBU, man. Like they got a lot of DBs in the league. So we're going Andre Fuller, Toledo, and that's going to wrap up our draft. We don't have a 7th rounder that I know of. Yeah, we're done there. So not a bad little draft there. I feel really good about it. We're gonna go through this really quick. I hate all these ads on this website. It's a good draft simulator though. I do like this one a lot, but just wish there weren't so many ads, but I understand you got to pay the bills. So, with that being said, we're almost to the end of the draft and then we'll go through all of our players. I'm just letting it run through, but I do feel really good about this draft, guys. I mean, getting the chance to trade down, I think a lot of Chargers fans love that idea. To be honest with you, as much as I love the idea of trading down, it's my biggest fear because we're live streaming a draft in the 1st round where the Chargers actually might not pick. So that would be less than ideal for our channel. So for content wise, I hope we pick in the 1st round, but I am really excited about the prospect of a trade down. So with the trade, we trade away pick 22, 204, and 55, and we got back all these players. And so we ended up getting 6 players here. And then we ended up picking up a 2nd and a 3rd from Baltimore for next year, which 2027 is supposed to be a much better draft. So that's an interesting thing here. This one gives me a B overall. I feel like that's probably a fair grade. I would probably go B plus, maybe A minus, but I'm biased because it's my draft. I love Keelan Rutledge more than most people, so I understand that. Get to B. I guess the one big thing I see here that I wish we could have addressed is I didn't get a center, which I would love to have gotten one of the centers. I love Brailsford, Sam Hecht, Logan Jones, Jake Slaughter. There's a lot of centers I like late in the draft. So I wasn't able to get that, which that kind of sucks. But I do like Keelan Rutledge. I really like Chris Brazzell in our offense. I don't love him everywhere, but I love him in our offense. So I would grade that much higher than a B minus. R. Mason Thomas falling that far, I agree. I would grade that like an A minus, but so I would go lower than what they gave me there. Eli Stowers is the most underrated pick here. That's a great tight end to add in with Aronde Gadsden and Charlie Kohler. That'll be great. I love that. I love the prospect here of what Isaiah World could be. Lost it. What did I do here? There we go. I'm pushing buttons I shouldn't be pushing. All right. Oh, come on. There we go. So, and then it gives me Andre Fuller as an A. I don't know if it's an A prospect, but it's probably the value because of where we got him. So, love this draft. I think it's a good draft, and we did really well there. So, let's go ahead and stop sharing. We're back here. All right, sweet. So, with that being said, let's see. How deep are we into this video? 21. We're 21 minutes in. You know what? I got time. If y'all got time, let's go ahead. Let's run one more draft. One last time, actually, so I got to reshare the screen here. All right, perfect. So we're going to go 7th round or 7-round draft. I'm going to put this on fast so it speeds up the parts where we have a long drought between picks. So, all right, here we go. We're ripping and running. And it is to us. So let's hide this. Let's see who's been come off the board. So Vega off the board at 16. That's obviously the first one I'm looking for. Spencer Fanu off the board at 14. So we're not going to be able to get our guard here because I don't value those other guys that high. So let's take a peek. That's where I'm at, guys. If we don't have the guard, we can at least look at trade downs and see what's available. So Cleveland offering us a 4th, and that's not bad. I might do that. I don't want to trade with the Broncos just because I don't like the in-division trade. So let me backtrack here. Just going to reject that off the bat. So this one's interesting. Moving down to 37, letting the Giants come back up. That would give the Giants 3 first-round picks. You know what? Let's find out. This is interesting to me. Let's go ahead and do it. I was thinking about taking Akeem Mesidor there. And just sticking and picking because I really like Akeem Mesidor. So, but I'm going to go ahead and accept this trade from the Giants and see who they went and got. So with our pick, they came up to a lot of people must be higher on KC Concepcion. Mesidor goes to 26. All right, interesting. So with that being said, CJ Allen fell to the 2nd round. TJ Parker's in the 2nd round. See, this is why last draft I love the Chris Brazzell pick. Look at that. He went 33. We got him at 55. So if that actually happened, I'd be pumped. But what I'm more pumped about right now is that while the guards are still gone, we're going to pick again at 55. So let's take a peek. Do we want to draft a guard here? Basantis is available, and I love Basantis. But Pregnon and Rutledge are still there, and Jennings Dunker is still there, and those are guys I feel okay with. So I'm going to take a gamble here because Caden McDonald should never fall this far. And I'm going to go ahead and do it because this is a good player that I would take at 22, and he's here at 37. So we're going to go ahead and go Caden McDonald, defensive tackle, Ohio State. And we're going to hope that one of our guards is still available here. All right. So look at that. I get Caden McDonald and I get Keelan Rutledge. I don't want to overthink it. We got Rutledge last draft. I try to usually change it up, but in this case, I'm trying to do what I would do if I was GM. And Rutledge is there, so I'm going to go ahead and just run that in. And we're taking Keelan Rutledge. Lee Hunter's there as well. That's a good player, but we already got McDonald. So we're going Keelan Rutledge. Beautiful. I feel great about this. With the trade down, that's awesome. So let's see. Oh, doing this on fast was a way better option. This is going way better, way smoother. Okay. So, oh, man. This is interesting. So we've already picked up. We got our guard and Rutledge, and we got a defensive tackle. So we're going to build the trenches here in this draft. And I'm going to be honest, I'm going to do it again. I've talked about him a lot. Parker Brailsford's my number 1 center. Trevor's number one center is Connor Liu, who I actually really love Connor Liu because he's coming off the ACL. He can kind of take this year, just recover, learn the NFL game, sit under Tyler Biadasz, and then next year we kind of figure out what he does and where he's at. So I love Connor Liu for us because we already have a center and he doesn't have to play right away. But I think Parker Brailsford's just a great player, and I'm so excited about Brailsford. So selfishly, I'm taking Brailsford here, and we're going to move on. Anybody who follows our channel just knows that's my guy. There was a point where I thought he was going to be a first-round talent, and I thought we could take him at 22. And that's obviously not going to happen, but all right. So I don't really want to trade with the Chiefs in division. All right, let's see here. Oh my goodness. So here's the thing. We've really gone trench heavy here with McDonald, with Rutledge, and Brailsford. So nothing on the perimeter here on offense or defense. And you know what? I think right here is a good time to just go ahead and do that. I was going to go with Michael Trigg. I like the idea of, I do want to get a tight end. I think it's a need. A low priority need, but a need nonetheless. But Elijah Surratt. Let's take a look here because I like Elijah Surratt a lot. So he's 6'2", 210, good size, 10-inch hands, which is awesome for contested catch ability. And then we're going to go to his traits here. And again, that's the number one thing. He's a good contested catch guy. His hands are his number one trait here. He's the here it says that Surratt is a bona fide catch point master. So this is his thing. Reminds me of Mike Williams, would fit that Mike Williams role. Physical run blocker, good route runner. All these things are really good. I just like a lot. Great size. His area of weakness here is run after catch. So he's not going to be a big, like Quentin Johnston's great in the run after catch a slant, take it to the house. This guy is not going to do that, but man, let him run a post, let him run some deep routes, and let him just go up and get the football over defenders. So I love him. I think it's a good pickup here. Would fill that kind of Mike Williams role that we've been lacking since Mike Williams left. And I'm going to go ahead and take Elijah Surratt, wide receiver, Indiana, the national champion Hoosiers. So I also love taking players from big schools. I just prefer that. That's kind of my own thing here. But all right, so we went trench heavy early, and we got another 4th round pick here. So we got we got a second and a third. And we got 2 fourths because of the trade. That's right. So with that being said, this is actually our last pick of this draft in the 4th round. And you know what? I was going to say maybe we could try to trade down or something, but I like Hezekiah Masses. Let's talk about him. There's another guy we haven't talked about much, so I like him. 6'1", so good size, arm length, average, but hand size and weight. He's super small, only 179 pounds. So I'd like to see him bulk up, but ran a 4.46, so solid 40 time, not a concern. That's the main thing. You don't have to run an elite 40. You just can't let it be a concern. But agility, so he's very agile. He's not straight line speed, is not a crazy strength, but he's agile, good ball skills, good processor. A lot of people speak highly of him from a classroom side and a mentally, just mental stuff. He's just a good, smart, intelligent football player that I think Harbaugh would love. Also, Chris O'Leary, defensive backs coach, would love. So the only issue is the size. I think he needs to bulk up a little bit. He wouldn't be expected to come in and start day one. So Hezekiah Masses at corner out of Cal Berkeley. And we're locked and loaded with another good draft. And you know what? I think it happened fast enough. Yeah, we can run a third one. So we'll run through it really fast, and we'll run a quick third draft. That way y'all can tell me in the comments you like draft 1, draft 2, or draft 3 the best. I'm looking at it so far, personally, so they actually gave me a B+ for this because of the Caden McDonald thing being a massive upgrade. Caden McDonald, Keelan Rutledge is nice. I love that for our trench play. Obviously, I'm higher on Brailsford. They gave me a D+. I think that's garbage. He's gonna surprise people, but that's just my take, and we'll see in a couple of years if I'm right or wrong on that. But Elijah Surratt, I'm shocked I only get a C+ for that pick. I thought it was a better value than that. But Hezekiah Masses, that tells you what you need to know right there. That's an A grade later in the draft there. I think it's better than a B plus because I ranked both of those a little bit higher, but that's a good draft. I like this draft a little bit better than the second draft, or than the first draft. I mean, and keep in mind we get a second rounder from the Giants from next year because of the trade down. So that's a good draft. I really like it. And let's run one more. All right. I wish Trevor were here to pick it apart and let me know that I'm an idiot, but that's all right. Oh, you know what? Here, yeah, we're gonna restart the sim. Sorry, I just forgot to put it on fast, and I like that, so y'all didn't have to sit around and wait and make me filibuster for time. I'd rather just actually get into the meat of what really matters. So, all right, let's hide it right here. Perfect. I love this. I was hoping this would happen because we haven't had it happen. Spencer Fano fell to pick 20. But then the Steelers did us a favor taking Keldrick Falk, and we get Kenny Sadiq is there too, by the way. But we get to take Vega Ione. Don't think about it too much. Best guard in the draft, and we got him. And left guard is Salt. I hope I get to do what I've been doing here. I've been doing this because a lot of Charger fans do not feel good about Cole Strange. So here's an option. I want to clarify this. I don't think Joe Ortiz will do this because he paid Cole Strange what he paid him. I think they believe in Cole Strange more than any of us do. But here's the deal. If you go Vega Ione at left guard and then you fall to 55 and Emmanuel Pregnon is still there, I'm jumping on it 10 out of 10 times, and we're going to do it here and just see how it plays out. And we're going first 2 picks, offensive guard. And then Pregnon now has the opportunity to go in and compete for the job with Cole Strange. And best case scenario, Pregnon beats him out and Cole Strange is a really good backup. Worst case scenario, Pregnon gets to sit under Cole Strange and develop until he's ready. I love it either way. I think Pregnon, Ione, Alt, Slater, Biotish, we got ourselves an offensive line to be reckoned with. So, go on Pregnon, and that gives us possibly a top 5 offensive line in football with some depth, too. All right. Do we want to trade back here? Maybe. It's an interesting trade back. No, I'm not going to do that, though. Oh, this one's nice. We could trade back 5 spots and then we pick up is that a 7th rounder? 6th rounder? I actually do like that. We'll trade back with Seattle here. We'll drop back 5 spots and pick up another pick. Oh, you know what? The Rams are giving us the opportunity. We're going to do it again. Go back 2 more spots. So 2 trade backs and then pick up 2 7th round picks. So we'll go ahead and do it. I love that for us, getting the opportunity to do that. I don't want to do that. And I don't care about next year's pick with Denver. So, okay. Oh, man, this is great. And this is another one. We haven't got to pick this one in any other mock drafts. So it's a good one to talk about. Let's talk about Jake Golday from Cincinnati. Here's the thing. I watched his tape and I despised the way Cincinnati used him. I think the guy's talented. I think he could be really good. But the way they used him, it was like he was playing slot corner on 90% of the plays. And it was just weird how they were using him. This guy's 6'4", 239 pounds. They had him playing like an outside linebacker hybrid slot corner. It was really weird and I hated it. And I understand they were trying to use him in like as an extra corner to play run support, but he's a linebacker. So it was just a really stupid way to use him. I hated all of it. So I don't know I'll be honest, I don't know how to evaluate this player. He's got all the measurables, all the tools. And I just feel like he wasn't well coached at Cincinnati. So 39-inch vertical, 10.5 broad jump, 4.6, which is good for a linebacker. So off ball, outside linebacker. I don't know. Like I said, I just don't know how he's going to play. But explosive player, that was my take as well. He's just an explosive athlete. Good long speed. See what the weaknesses are. This is the funniest thing. They're using him as a corner, but the weakness is coverage. And I watched him just get cooked in coverage on a regular basis. So I didn't like him in that role. I don't know how good of a cover corner he is. Good run support. So I almost wonder if he bulked up. Maybe he transitions to edge in the NFL. I don't know how you use him. He's an interesting chess piece. So here's what we're going to say. In this draft, we're going to have a little fun. We're going to draft on potential here. And we got all these extra picks because of the trade downs. So let's go ahead and take Jake Golday, linebacker out of Cincinnati. Again, I don't feel great about it, but a lot of other people will tell you it's a good pick. I don't know how I feel about it, but that's just me. Um, so Hezekiah Masses, the corner I liked from the last draft, is off the board here. But there is another one I like that I'm interested in. So let's take a look at him. Chandler Rivers out of Duke. So former Blue Devil, 5'9", 185 pounds, so a little bit undersized, which is obviously a problem. Ran a 4.4 flat and a 39-inch vertical, 10.10 or 10.10 broad jump. So freakish athleticism, undersized though. So again, blue chip agility and twitch, hip fluidity, explosiveness, all this is good. We're going to scroll down here and see what the problems are. And of course, the problem is he's undersized. So I don't know how I feel about that. I don't like small football players, to be honest with you, in a lot of cases. So I don't feel great about this. But I didn't realize, and this is where, let's see here. Let's see if we can find someone else. I like him, but let's talk. This one's another one. So a little bit bigger, 6'1", 193. So the size isn't as big of a concern. But what is a concern to me is he played at Stephen F. Austin. So I struggle with guys who went to small schools who didn't play the best competition. But let's look at it. So we talked about the athleticism with Rivers. I do have this. These are close for me, but I have Charles Dennings ranked higher, just on the measurables. 6'1", 193, 32-inch arms, 42-inch vert, 11 broad jump, and a 4.41. So all the measurables are lining up to be a little bit better. Explosive athlete. And let's track down here. So again, this is why I don't like small schools. Processing is the issue here. Reaction speed, vision, route running, situational awareness. Those are things I want to be high level from my corner. But I'm trusting when I make this pick, because I am taking Charles Dennings here. I'm going to trust in our guy, Chris O'Leary, who's an elite DBs coach, and Steve Clinksdale to take care of this. And we're going to go Charles Dennings here in the 4th round. So a lot of people, again, I'm drafting a potential there. So not a finished product. I don't know if I love that, but y'all let me know in the comments what you think there. And then, so this one's a tough one. This is a lot of boomer bust picks in this draft that we're doing here. What have we taken? I want to take a look back here. So we got Vega. We got 2 guards. So we don't even want to look at guard. Got a linebacker. Got a corner. So wide receiver would be interesting here. Maybe the safety. Let's take a look at what's available here, because I can't say I've done the most homework on this part. So let's see. Jalen Husky. 6'1", 196. Didn't test. Wow, okay, that's not helpful. Processing. So it looks like just a solid player. They're saying undersized for a safety is 6'1", 196. I don't feel great about it. I'm going to pass on him. Aaron Anderson. Let's check the wide receiver here. 5'8", 191, so way undersized. And he didn't run a 40, so I'm going to bail on that, because I got to have a measurable or a trait to feel good about here. 2 tight ends. I've done a little homework on both of these guys, so but I haven't really made up my mind here. Marlon Klein, out of a German tight end, so that's cool. We went to Michigan, so I'm not sure, is that a Harbaugh recruit? Possibly. So that's actually an interesting 6'6", 248, and a 4.61 at that size. So I love this. Okay, now we're talking measurables I can get behind. Elite all the way through here, above average, a lot of things. So nothing bad here. There's just nothing bad, but there's nothing, solid that's, maybe rock star level, but some good stuff here. Let's take a look at the other tight end. I'm definitely taking tight end here. It's just a matter of which one of these guys I like. So we're doing this live. I haven't looked into these guys. Another one, 6'6", 247. It's the same size. 4'7", a little bit slower. 36, good, but these are solid measurables. And, okay. So it looks like, okay, so this is an interesting instincts, hands, grew up playing football, probably, Bloomington, Illinois. And you know what? All right, so here's what I'm thinking. So it looks to me like just off of the numbers and the reading here, Marlon Klein is a little more raw, but has a lot more upside. Tanner Koziel or Koziel, I don't know, is probably more developed right now. But I'm gonna go ahead and take Marlon Klein, tight end out of Michigan. You know that Harbaugh loves the Michigan guys, and so we're gonna take him. I like that. I think it's a good, solid pickup. And then we do need some wide receiver at some point here late in the draft. We got 6th and 7th round picks. Let's take a look at Lewis Bond. I did look at him before as well. So not in one of these drafts, but in doing my own homework. So 5'10", 190, and only ran a 4.59. So I don't think there's a lot there that I love measurables wise. Just good route runner, good hands, kind of just smart player. And I don't know, man. The measurables aren't there. I'll be honest. I don't like Micaiah Lemon in the first round. I'm one of the only people who doesn't like Micaiah Lemon, but it's the same thing. It's like the measurables aren't there. It's just like hey, he's an elite processor and a smart guy. And he's like Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's like, well, there's not many of those guys in the league. So, I don't feel great about it. Let's look at this. This isn't the one. We took a tackle in the last draft. We can take a flyer on Diego Pounds. Who I do like here. Let's go testing. 6'6", 325. Not great speed, not great athleticism, but core and grip strength, physicality. So just a mauler of a run blocker. You know what? We're going to do that. Let's go Diego Pounds, offensive tackle, Ole Miss. 6th round pick, may not pan out, but I like taking flyers on our offensive line because Lord knows our offensive line needs help. So we do have one corner. We have a linebacker, a tight end, a tackle, and 2 guards. So maybe, all right, let's look at the edge rusher here. Cyan Sloan, 6'4", 235. Didn't test at all. So just the traits, kind of a high motor, agility, explosiveness. So yeah, I was gonna say it seems like a designated pass rusher. You know what? 7th round. I haven't done enough homework here to have a strong opinion, but I'll take a 7th round flyer on an edge rusher here. I think that's good enough for me. Cyan Sloan, NC State, and we'll call it a draft. So they gave us, this is our best one, but it's a lot of boom or bust for me. A lot of potential and a lot of guys who might not pan out. So Vega, Ione, I love. That's the top 2 are solid. Those are going to work. Vega, Pregnon, those are great. Golday falling where he did, that's as low as I've seen him go. So, gotta like the value. Again, a lot of upside, high floor or high ceiling, low floor. Demings is nice. High ceiling, low floor. Marlon Klein, high ceiling, low floor. Diego Pounds, high ceiling, low floor. So yeah, that's kind of the thing with this draft. So let me know what you think. We're gonna wrap it up right there. 43 minutes. That's about right. Perfect. So let me unshare this. Perfect. So y'all let me know what you think. We did 3 mock drafts. The third one was a high potential mock draft. Couple good trade downs in the first 2. So y'all let me know what you think. Go back through it. And yeah, with that being said, tonight is draft night. So make sure to tune in. This is where we change our future. This is a big night for the Chargers, and I'm so excited for round 1. I'm so excited to be doing our first ever live stream. I hope this is an annual thing for us and that we live stream the first round every year. And I'm looking forward to it. So make sure y'all tune in, and I will see y'all tonight for the live stream. Love y'all. Bolt up.